Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about this bridge full wave rectifier. The half wave rectifier we had seen this rectifier as we call half wave rectifier. This half wave rectifier uses a single diode and a normal type of transformer. It provides the output voltage. That output voltage is given by VDC equals to Vp upon pi, and this rectifier is we call as half wave rectifier because it utilizes only a positive half of the input AC wave. So to utilize the negative half cycle and to improve its efficiency, here we design a new rectifier. That rectifier is we call as a center tap full wave rectifier. It is we call a center tap full wave rectifier. I'm going to write down this full wave rectifier is FWR in short. Okay, so this center tap full wave rectifier having one disadvantage. This rectifier utilize the negative half cycle as well as a positive half cycle, but here one major drawback, and that major drawback is the cost of the transformer. The transformer we are using, that transformer is a special type of transformer, and this special type of transformer is we call a center tap transformer. In this center tap transformer, there is a one terminal called as a center terminal, or the center tap. It is taken from the center turn of the secondary of the winding. So we have to locate one terminal from the center turn, and it is a difficult work to locate a terminal, to locate a tap at the center terminal. So therefore its cost gets increased, and here this is a major drawback of it. Also it have one drawback, and that drawback is PIV rating of the diode. That drawback is PIV rating of the diode. The PIV rating of the diode for this center tap full wave rectifier is equals to twice Vp. It is equals to twice Vp, double of the diodes which we are using in the half wave rectifier. So these two are the drawbacks. To overcome from these two drawbacks, we design new rectifier, and that new rectifier is we call as bridge full wave rectifier, or simply it may call as bridge wave rectifier. Actually it is a full wave rectifier, but they called it as a bridge full wave rectifier, or simply the bridge rectifier, because it consists of one bridge, and that bridge is formed by using the diodes. Now this bridge is nothing but a combination of the diode. These diodes we use, that diodes are the 4 number of diodes. The bridge is formed by using the 4 number of diodes combination, and in that combination the diodes are connected in such a way that the two diodes gets in the forward bias condition, and the two diodes gets in the reverse bias condition. This type of connection of the diode is we call as a bridge, and this bridge is formed by using the 4 number of diode. If you look at this bridge, then it looks like the resistance bridge which we use for the measurement. Okay, so here this bridge is formed by using the 4 number of diodes, and these diodes we label as the diode D1, then diode D2, diode D3, and the diode D4. Now the question comes, how we draw the diagram or how we make the connections. For that, here one trick we have, and that trick is, here we are going to draw the arrows, and these two arrows are the downward arrows. See, the direction of these two arrows is the downward direction. I am also going to draw two more diodes. These two diodes are having the upward direction. See, here the arrow is in upward direction. Here again one more diode is there, and this is also in upward direction. Okay, so the two diodes are in downward direction. If we consider one diode as one arrow, then the two diodes are in downward direction and the two diodes are in the upward direction. The diode D1, here I am going to draw the diodes. Here it is the diode D1. Suppose the diode D1's direction is in downward, then the other diode which is in parallel to this is in also the downward direction. This is we call a diode D1. Here it is a diode D1. If we look at the direction, then it is in downward. Okay, so the other diode we have to draw in parallel to this, means here again one more diode I am going to draw, and that diode is the opposite diode. That diode is in parallel and here having the same direction. Suppose this diode is a diode D2, and two more diodes we require. These two diodes direction is in opposite, means in upward direction. Here I am going to draw one more diode, and that diode is supposed to be diode D3. Here it is a diode D3. Then here the direction of this diode is in the opposite direction. See, here it looks like the arrow going towards the upward direction. Okay, now in parallel to this we require to draw one more diode, and that diode is the diode D4. Here is the diode D4. I am going to draw the diode D4. Here it is diode D4. See, in this diagram there are four number of diodes. These diodes are in a form of the bridge. These diodes are placed in the form of the bridge. So this rectifier is we call as a bridge full wave rectifier. This rectifier is we call a bridge full wave rectifier. In this bridge full wave rectifier we use the transformer. That transformer is the normal type of transformer. Now if we look at the bridge, then this bridge having the four sides. Here the four arms we can say. From that, here the upper arm and the lower arm, these two we use for the application of the secondary voltage from the transformer. Here in between the upper arm and the lower arm, in between this upper arm and the lower arm, we apply the input voltage from the transformer. Means here I am going to draw the diagram like this. Here it is the input. Here again we apply the input. Means in between these two terminal, here at the diode D1 and the diode D4 we apply the upper terminal of secondary of transformer, and we generally consider the upper terminal of secondary of transformer is A and the lower terminal becomes B. Okay, so here we apply the input, means the secondary voltage V secondary in between the upper and the lower arm of this bridge, and in between the remaining two side arms, means the left side and the right side, we get the output voltage, we get the secondary voltage. means in between these two terminals we get the output voltage, or we can say we get the the DC output voltage. Okay, so here we get the DC output voltage. So this type of the connections are there. Here the diagram is drawn, we have to consider its working. Once again, like the half wave rectifier and the bridge full wave rectifier, we have to write down its working by using 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph is for the construction of this bridge full wave rectifier. In this construction, first we write down its meaning, why it is we call as a bridge full wave rectifier. So this bridge full wave rectifier is we call as a bridge full wave rectifier because here this full wave rectifier uses the 4 number of diodes we label as D1, D2, D3 and D4 in a circuit diagram, and these 4 diodes are connected in a form of the bridge. The bridge having the upper arm and the lower arm, so the secondary voltage is connected in between the upper arm and the lower arm, and this output DC voltage is taken from the side two arms, left hand side and the right hand side. Once again, here not forget to mention the load resistor RL. DC output voltage is obtained across the load resistor RL, and the DC output voltage is the effect of the current flowing through the load resistor RL. Okay, so here this is the construction of this full wave rectifier. This bridge full wave rectifier uses a transformer. That transformer is the normal type of transformer, and as it is a normal type of transformer, its cost is less than the center tap transformer. So therefore this rectifier is a low cost rectifier than the center tap full wave rectifier. When there is a positive upcycle, we consider the upper terminal A is positive and the lower terminal B is negative. The upper terminal A is positive and the lower terminal B is negative. It means here the anode of the diode D1, the diode D1's anode is here. The anode of the diode D1, here it is the anode of the diode D1. The anode of the diode D2 is connected here at the lower side, and the cathode of the diode D1 is connected at the resistor. The diode D4's anode is connected at this point, and the diode D3's anode is also connected at this point, means here. Okay, so when there is a positive upcycle, the diode D1 gets in forward bias condition. The diode D1 gets in forward bias condition. But why this is in forward bias condition, that is important to us. The diode D1 gets in forward bias condition because its anode is connected to the positive terminal. Its anode is connected to the positive terminal. But someone can say its cathode is not connected to the negative terminal. Here, the meaning of the positive and negative is the positive is at the higher potential and the negative is at the lower potential. The anode, when connected to the higher potential than the cathode connection, then it gets in the forward bias condition. And here again we can say the cathode is connected to the terminal B through the load resistor RL and the diode D3, but that we clear later on. Just we have to consider the there is a positive upcycle, and during this positive upcycle the diode D1 gets in the forward bias condition, and along with this diode the diode D3 also gets in forward bias condition. The diode D1 and the diode D3 gets in forward bias condition, and the other two diode gets in reverse bias condition. Now why other two diodes gets in reverse bias condition? Here the reason is, we consider first the diode D4. The diode D4 cathode is connected to the positive terminal, it is connected to the terminal A, okay, and the diode D2's anode terminal is connected to the terminal B, and terminal B is negative. So therefore here the diode D2 and D4 are in the reverse bias condition. When there is a positive half cycle, the diode D1 and the diode D3 are in forward bias condition. The diode D1 and D3 gets in forward bias condition, and the diode D2 and D4 gets in reverse bias condition. Are you getting it? The diode D1 and the diode D3 gets in forward bias condition, whereas the diode D2 and the diode D4 gets in reverse bias condition. The diode D1 and the diode D3 gets in forward bias condition because of the polarities of the connections. Here the diode D1 and D3 gets in forward bias condition. So we consider there is a positive upcycle, and during this positive upcycle the diode D1 and the diode D3 are in forward bias condition, and the diode D2 and D4 are in reverse bias condition. To understand this concept, we have one new diagram, but in that diagram we made some changes. What are the changes? We removed the diode D2 and the D4. Here the diode D3 is connected in between these two terminal, and in between these two terminal the diode D2 is connected. Now we consider why the diode D1 and D3 are in forward bias condition. The anode of the diode is connected to the terminal A. The anode of the diode is connected to the terminal A. So the diode gets in the forward bias condition. The cathode of the diode D3 is connected to the terminal B, and terminal B is having a negative polarity. Now see here, this is looks like this. Here there is a one diode, and here once again there is a one diode. Okay, means here the diode D1 and the D3 are in forward bias condition. So therefore here the current starts flowing through this diode. As we know, when the diode is in forward bias condition, it acts as a closed switch. I am going to draw here a switch, and that switch is the closed switch. So therefore here the current starts flowing from the terminal A, then it passes through the diode D1. It passes through the diode D1. After that it passes through the load resistor RL. Now someone can say, here sir, in between the diode D1 and D3 there is a diode D2. We removed the diode D2 because this is in a reverse bias condition. It is in reverse bias condition. So therefore we remove the diode D2, and we know that the reverse bias diode acts as a open switch. So here we consider there is a open switch. That's why the current starts flowing from the terminal A, then it flows through the diode D1, then it passes through the load resistor RL, and it then flows through the diode D3. Here, as the diode D3 is in the forward bias condition, it flows through the diode D3 and it completes its path at the terminal B. When there is a positive half cycle, once again I am going to draw this sequence. When there is a positive half cycle, during positive half cycle, the diode D1 and the diode D3 gets in forward bias condition and the other two diode gets in reverse bias condition. So therefore here the current starts flowing from the terminal A, then it flows through the diode D1. After that it flows through the load resistor RL and it flows through the diode D3 and then it completes its path towards the terminal B. Here I am going to write down its sequence, and the sequence is like this. When there is a positive half cycle, when there is a positive half cycle, the diode D1 and D3 are in forward bias condition. The diode D1 and D3 are in forward bias condition, whereas the diode D2 and D4 in reverse bias condition. The diode D1 and D3 are in forward bias condition and the diode D2 and D4 are in reverse bias condition. So the current starts flowing from the positive terminal A. I am going to mark here the plus sign, positive terminal A. Then it flows through the diode D1. After that it flows through load resistor RL and then it flows through the diode D3 and it completes its path towards the negative terminal B. Again here see the current flows from the positive terminal and it flows towards the negative terminal. It completes its path towards the negative terminal. When there is a positive half cycle, the diode D1 and D3 are in forward bias condition, whereas the diode D1 and D2 and D4 are in reverse bias condition. For your better understanding, I had removed the two diodes, the diode D1 and the diode D2 and the diode D4. Here when there is a positive half cycle, the current starts flowing from the terminal A, then it flows through the diode D1, then it flows through the load resistor RL. Here after this load resistor RL, here the current passes through the diode D3 like this. Here it passes through the diode D3. Then here it completes its path towards the terminal B and terminal B is the negative. Okay, so this is what happens when there is a positive half cycle. Now we will see what happens when there is a negative half cycle. Now during negative half cycle, the polarities of the secondary of transformer terminals A and B gets reversed. We get the terminal A negative whereas the terminal B gets positive. When there is a negative half cycle, the diode D2 and D4 gets in forward bias condition, whereas the diode D 1 and D3 gets in reverse bias condition. But why we get this type of polarity? Why we get this type of condition of the diode? For that, here we consider the actual circuit diagram which is available here. Here the polarities gets reverse. It means the terminal A gets negative whereas the terminal B gets positive. Now look at the diode connections. The diode D1's anode is connected to the upper side, means here there is a negative terminal, means due to this connection, due to the anode's connection to the negative terminal of the secondary of the transformer, the diode D1 gets in reverse bias condition. In parallel to this diode D1, the diode D3 is connected, and if you look at the diode D3's cathode, it is connected to the terminal B and terminal B is positive. So that's why this diode is in reverse bias condition. It means when there is a negative off cycle, the diode D1 and D3 are in reverse bias condition, whereas the diode D2 and D4 are in forward bias condition. Okay, we write down the condition here. The first condition when there is a positive half cycle, and second condition when there is a negative half cycle. During this negative half cycle, we get the diode D2 and D4 are in forward bias, and the diode D1 and D3 are in reverse bias condition. So here the direction of the current again changes. The direction of current is always from positive terminal towards the negative terminal, but here instead of terminal A, the terminal B is positive. So let's see the direction of the current by using this diagram. So here the upper terminal A is now negative and lower terminal B is positive. So the diode D2 and D4 are in forward bias condition. Here the anode of the diode D2 is connected to the terminal B, and the cathode of the diode D4 is connected to the terminal A. Terminal A is negative, terminal B is positive, B is connected to the anode of diode D2. So therefore here this diode D2 gets in forward bias condition. Now here when there is a negative off cycle, these two are in forward bias. So therefore here these two acts as a closed switch and other two acts as a open switch. I am going to mark here the closed switch. The diode D2 is a closed switch and the diode D4 also a closed switch. Okay, so the current starts flowing from the terminal B, then it flows through, as the terminal B is positive, the current must start from the positive terminal, and then it flows through the diode D2, then it flows through the load resistor RL. In previous condition, when there is a positive off cycle, at that time the current started flowing from the upper terminal of load resistor RL towards the lower terminal, and here again the current flowing from the load resistance RL having this same direction. So the polarities across the load resistor RL are like this. The upper terminal is positive and the lower terminal is negative. Upper terminal is positive and lower terminal is negative. Okay, now the current starts flowing from the terminal B, then it flows through the diode D2. After that it flows through the load resistor RL, and then it starts flowing through the diode D4 and it completes its path towards the negative terminal A. When there is a negative half cycle, during this negative half cycle, the secondary voltage polarities of the transformer gets changed. The upper terminal gets negative, whereas the lower terminal gets positive. So therefore here the diode D1 and the diode D3 are in reverse bias condition, whereas the diode D2 and D4 are in forward bias condition. As these two are in forward bias condition, we get the current conduction path is from the terminal B, then it passes through the diode D2 and then it passes through this load resistor RL and then it flows through the diode D4 and it completes its path towards the negative terminal A. When there is a positive half cycle, the current conduction path is from the terminal A towards the terminal B. Here the current flows through the load resistor RL, and when there is a negative half cycle, once again the current flows through the load resistor RL in the same way as that of the positive half cycle. In this rectifier, there is a current through this load resistor RL which is flowing from upper terminal towards the lower terminal. So here we get the polarities across the load resistor RL are upper terminal is positive and lower terminal is negative. Okay, so here this is what happens when there is a negative half cycle of the secondary of the transformer, or we can say when there is a negative half cycle of the AC. We draw the waveforms, then once again we consider the working. Here this is we call input wave. It is the input waveform, input which we are going to apply. Input AC waveform, we can say it is the input AC waveform. Here this one is the rectified output waveform, or we can say the output waveform. Okay, so here suppose there is a positive half cycle. When there is a positive half cycle, the two diode conducts. Which are those two diodes? The diodes are diode D1 and the diode D3. The diode D1 and D3 conducts, and the diode D2 and D4 are in reverse bias condition. The diode D1 and the diode D2 conduct. So we get the output voltage by conducting the diode D1 and D3, and here we write down the diode D1 and D3 in this first peak or first ripple. When there is a negative half cycle, the polarities gets reversed, and now the diode D2 and the diode D4 gets in forward bias condition instead of diode D1 and the diode D3. So here we get the output voltage by conducting the diode D2 and D4 during this negative half cycle. It means we get the output voltage when there is a positive half cycle as well as when there is a negative half cycle. After this negative half cycle, once again the positive half cycle arrives, and during this positive half cycle again the other two diode conducts. These are diode D1 and the diode D3. So by conducting the two diodes at a time, we get the output voltage. Means this type of output voltage we get when we apply the AC input wave, and this output voltage is we call as rectified DC output voltage. And this is not a pure DC output voltage because it having the variations like the variations available at the AC voltage. Okay, so this is the bridge full wave rectifier. Here when there is a positive half cycle, we get the current conduction from the terminal A towards the terminal B by conducting this diode D1 and the diode D3. When there is a negative half cycle, again we get the direction of current is from positive towards the negative terminal, but here instead of conducting the diode D1 and D3, the other two diode conducts and these are diode D2, then the current passes through the load resistor RL and the diode D4 and again it completes its path towards the negative terminal A. Okay, so this is the direction of the current. If you know these two sentences, these 2 points, then it is very easy to write down in 2 paragraphs the working of this bridge full wave rectifier. So you write down these 2 points in your notebook along with the circuit diagram and the waveforms. Now we have to see the advantages of this bridge full wave rectifier. What are its advantages? As it is a full wave rectifier, it means we get the double output voltage than the half wave rectifier, but it is not advantage, it is design factor. We have to consider the 3 advantages and 2 disadvantages. From that, the first one advantage is it does not require any center tap transformer, means this circuit not using any special type of the transformer. So as there is no special transformer, it means here we use the normal type of transformer, and this normal type of transformer we are using, it means its cost is low. Okay, then second one advantage is there, and that advantage is the PIV rating of the diode. As we had seen in center tap full wave rectifier, the PIV rating is equals to twice Vp. The PIV rating is equals to the twice Vp, but in this case it is only Vp, and in the half wave rectifier it is Vp. Why in half wave rectifier and this bridge wave rectifier it is Vp? It is Vp because here we are using a normal type of transformer and the total voltage across the transformer gets in reverse with the reverse bias diode. So therefore here the PIV rating is only Vp. Now someone can say how it is advantageous. It is advantageous because the PIV rating of the diode increases the cost of the diode. Okay, then here we get the double voltage than the center tap rectifier with the same secondary voltage of the transformer. For that, here we consider one example. Suppose we have the normal transformer. This is the normal transformer, and here the normal transformer having the secondary voltage, that secondary voltage is here the 24 volts. That secondary voltage is the 24 volt, and here we have the center tap transformer. In the center tap transformer, here the secondary voltage is different rating. Suppose here we use the center tap transformer and its voltage rating is 12-0-12 volt. In between these two terminal we get the 24 volts. We get the 24 volt. It means here for this 24 volt transformer and for this 24 volt transformer, the output voltage of that rectifier is different. Here we get the doubled output voltage than the center tap full wave rectifier. Okay, so this is one more advantage of this bridge full wave rectifier. Now what are disadvantages? As it is advanced than the two previous rectifiers, but it also have the disadvantages. What are these two disadvantages? Here the first disadvantage is it requires the 4 number of diodes. We use the diode D1, D2, D3 and the diode D4, which are connected in the form of a bridge, and here the 4 diodes we are using instead of the 2 diodes. So this is a disadvantage, but not so much important disadvantage. The much more important disadvantage is this one, as here it uses the 4 number of diodes, and from this 4 number of diodes, 2 diodes are in forward bias at a time. When there is a positive up cycle, diode D1 and D3 are conducting, means these two are in forward bias. But when there is a negative up cycle, the diode D2 and D4 are conducting, means these two are in forward bias. And these diodes are the silicon diode, and we know this silicon diode produces a voltage drop across it of 0.7 volt. So therefore here the two diodes are conducting, and these two diodes produces the voltage drop across it. That voltage drop is 1.4 volt. We consider this one diagram. Suppose there is a negative up cycle and the current starts flowing through this diode D1. The diode D1 produces voltage drop of 0.7 volts, and the diode D4 also produces a voltage drop of 0.7 volt. It means there is voltage drop of 1.4 volt, and here this is disadvantages because we cannot use this rectifier to produce the low output voltage. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of the bridge full wave rectifier. One more we can say, its output voltage gets reduced. So here, if there is a question in the examination, then you write down its answer in the 3 different sections. What are those 3 different sections? First, you have to write down the construction of the bridge rectifier. Construction of the bridge rectifier. Here the construction. After that you have to write down the working. First is the construction. Then you have to write down the working. But before writing the working, you have to draw the circuit diagram. You have to draw the circuit diagram, and then you have to write down its working in 2 paragraphs. While writing the working, you have to consider when there is a positive up cycle and when there is a negative up cycle. After working, you draw the waveforms. If they ask the advantages of the bridge wave rectifier or disadvantages or both advantages and disadvantages, then you have to write down this advantages and the disadvantages. At least 2 number of the advantages and 2 number of disadvantages you have to write down. In our next video lecture, we will solve some examples on this bridge full wave rectifier. Okay.